Hello and welcome back to the Open Resourcery. It's Devi, and today we are going to be talking about the stories in tarot. So today we're covering Ace through 10 of Swords. This one is one that of course deals with intellect. It is the mind. It is energy. It is the breath. Sometimes you can call it like divine intervention in a sense. But the story of the swords is kind of a heavy one. It's kind of a heavy one, but we'll start. And I want you to think of it in relationship to a rose bush. So, the ace. This is the new ideas, the fresh ideas. It springs to your mind. The light bulb goes on. You're seeing the rose bush for the first time. Oh my God, it's beautiful. Nothing more perfect on this planet. You see everything. But it's first impressions. There is no suspicions, no expectations. You're seeing something and it is beautiful. You're having an idea and it is wonderful. You're seeing the rose bush and it is magnificent. Here comes the 2. This is more critical thought. Feeling unable to move because you don't necessarily know how to understand it. In terms of a person, words do not match actions. There is a sense of dissonance here. So back to the rose bush. You see the rose bush. The rose bush is beautiful. But then there are thorns. Why are there thorns on something so beautiful? Why is it armed to the teeth? You don't necessarily know how to proceed. So you're stuck. At least for a moment. 3. Knowledge is power, but also a burden. The information found out breaks your initial impressions of the thing. You reach out and you touch the rose bush. You grab the stem to possess the rose and it stings you. It hurts. It pierces your skin. It's drawing blood. It's injuring you. The 3 of Swords, famously, in almost all tarot decks that I've seen, has those 3 swords plunged into a heart. Because this one typically indicates breakups or betrayal or things of that nature. But if you think about it, yes, it is betrayal, but it is betrayal from your perspective. Because your first impression is before this. And you don't have the full scope of knowledge. And so this is you gaining some of that knowledge and being disappointed. It's almost like meeting somebody new for the first time off of a dating website, right? And they do not look like their picture. They don't speak like they do in their messages. It's disappointment. On the extreme, yes, it can be absolute heartbreak. It can be painful because expectations were not met. But you are gaining this knowledge. Now the knowledge, in terms of the rose bush, it's painful. The fucker stabbed you. There are now thorns in your hand. It's your blood. Number 4 is the withdrawal. So in typical tarot, it's seen as rest, withdrawal, the ability to be with the self. I see this kind of as a miniature hermit card, because the minor arcana are like the smaller things in life, whereas the major arcana are your major, like, turning points. But the 4 here, withdrawal and removal of your energy. So think of it like you just burned your hand on a stove. You just got injured by that rose bush. You're going to withdraw your hand to your chest, right? You're taking yourself back because that hurt. But this is the moment where you're shocked. You're withdrawing your energy. You're not allowing it to injure you again in that moment. And then we lead to the 5, that knee-jerk reaction that comes afterwards. This one talks a lot about conflict and competition and feeling like you've been one-upped. But this one, in terms of the rose bush, this can be lashing out at what caused the pain initially in number 3. So maybe you hack the rose bush to pieces. But you've lost the beauty. You've both lost. It is a lose-lose situation. There is no winners here. Everyone gets hurt by the blade. Number 6 is less angry, but it is still processing that hurt. And this is a stronger withdrawal. The first one is more in shock of, ow, that hurt. This one is more in walking away, actually removing yourself from the situation. Entirely for self-preservation, because you know that it's not healthy for you to stay. If you stay with the rose bush, you're going to get stabbed. It's going to keep hurting you because you want to touch it. You want to experience it. But ultimately, you would hurt each other already. It stabbed you by its very nature, and you lashed out. You both lose. And so you walk away and you remove yourself. Number 7. This one I have dubbed a miniature devil card. A toxic relationship. You can't get the rose bush out of your head. You still hang on, maybe even just in thoughts. It was so beautiful. It smelled so good. You enjoyed looking upon it, and the petals were so smooth. Keeping those thoughts, potentially sneaking glances and peeks. But this is being deceptive and lying. Maybe to others or maybe to yourself. Oh, it can't hurt to go and see the rose again. It can't hurt to go and experience it again. What was I doing? It wasn't that bad. Making excuses. Being deceptive. If we're looking at it in terms of a relationship. You broke up with somebody, right? You walked away in number 6. You removed yourself completely from the situation. Then you got that 3 a.m. call. Now your family, your friends, they all think you're broken up, but that 3 a.m. text or call, and you realize that you still crave that. That's a problem. And so this is lying to yourself or others about your intentions or feelings. And it's hard. because your words and your actions are not aligning. You are creating the dissonance. You are keeping secrets, and they are harmful. Maybe that text had something about I would never do it again. That was an accident. It was a misunderstanding. But you want that proximity so bad. You want that to be as good as those first impressions as you got with the ace, that you run back. Number 8. 8 is about being imprisoned in the cycle. While the 7 is about the allure and the false reconciliation, the 8 is about feeling trapped. Like I said, that many devil, right? Addiction. Enjoyment. This is a self-imposed imprisonment. You could walk away from this thing, but you choose not to. You don't want to. You have no desire to do so. That rose bush is wonderful. And yes, maybe it keeps hurting you. Maybe it keeps stabbing you. But look at how beautiful it is. Look at how pretty it is. You see the cycle. You see the scars that the rose bush is putting on you. The damage. And you're choosing to be helpless to it. You are choosing helplessness here. Number 9 is staying in the cycle. Eventually it starts to break you. The scars get deeper. And eventually they start to get mental. The 9 of Swords is the effect this vicious cycle is having on you. Your psyche, your body, your relationships with others. It's trauma and anxiety. In terms of relationships, this can indicate abuse and cheating, but you stay and continue to be injured by this thing again and again and again. And the highs are high. Love bombing. Probably amazing sex if it's a relationship. But the lows are so low. And the drop off between the two is catastrophic. The swing between is breaking you. Your body and your mind can only handle so much before we reach 10. You break. This is the end. The 10 of Swords is finality. We can consider it a miniature death card, in a sense. Either an end, you finally walk away from that rose bush because it has done too much damage. You are leaving it. You can only take so much. Finally, you gain your wits about you. This beautiful idea is no longer beautiful. This beautiful thing is no longer beautiful. This beautiful relationship was never beautiful. You see it for what it is. But here's the thing. It's taken everything from you in the interim. You hit rock bottom. You lost everything. Potentially material goods. Potentially friendships. Maybe even some of your family. Certainly a lot of time. Joy. Potentially, and very likely, some of the sense of innocence that you carried. You can't get that back. Innocence doesn't just resprout and regrow inside of you. You ate of the fruit of good and evil in this one. And you saw evil all the way through. It is a crushing loss. But it is also relieving. And for the first time since this thing captured your attention, you're free. You're clean. You are unburdened. The only burden you carry now is your memories and the scars upon you, both physical and mental. I never like seeing the Ten of Swords in a reading because that one is hard won. And it always indicates some kind of abuse. The swords is a funny thing. Double-edged. It is air. It is symbolized by air. And so it is given the realm of thought. But here's the thing. Air is both within you and outside of you. Hence the double edge. It is internal and external. So this can be your relationship with an idea, with a person, with a thing, like that rose bush. It can be any of those, because it is both within and without you. But the story of the swords is a sad one. I hope you enjoyed my tale of the swords. This is Devi on the Opener Sorcery, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.